Hi, and welcome to the NBA show. This is part 2 of a 3-part rebuilding series that we started a couple of days ago, the first being the draft. Now you can find the link to that in the bio below. This episode is about free agency, so let's get to it. Acquiring the right guy in free agency can really turn a team on its head in a good way. Teams who were lottery bound can otherwise become an instant championship contender if they get a tier 1 superstar in their fold, much like the Cleveland Cavaliers did in 2014 when the return of LeBron James happened. Now, some teams, like the Golden State Warriors, were already champions, but they upgraded in 2016 with Kevin Durant and basically solidified themselves as championship favorites year in and year out until they actually lost in the finals to the Raptors in 2019, but that was in large part due to a significant amount of injuries. Making the right call in free agency though, that can be challenging. We've seen a multitude of players signed to large contracts that just didn't pan out. Now, to actually go back to Kevin Durant, who was signed to a max contract for the Brooklyn Nets in the summer of 2019, one has to question, is that contract going to be significantly worth it, considering he tore his Achilles, one of the most devastating injuries that we have in the NBA. Now, obviously, I hope that he's going to return to form, because the league is better off when Kevin Durant is, well, Kevin Durant. But given that we simply don't know what kind of stature he's going to be, and what kind of production he's going to provide, at the end of the day, that could become a significant risk. We just don't know yet. But this is a chance that the Brooklyn Nets had to take, right? They were out there, they didn't really have that tier 1 guy, and Kevin Durant said, I wanted to come there, and I wanted to bring Kyrie Irving with me. Now personally, I think the Brooklyn Nets were onto something. But when you have the chance to lock in 2 stars of that caliber, on some level you have to have that discussion. And maybe even you have to do it just for the sense of, let's see if we can actually push this through and win a championship. Now, let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, because they're the primary example of a club that wants to use free agency as opposed to spend years and years and years developing talent. And I say that fully knowing that they drafted Kobe Bryan and developed him into one of the best shooting guards of all time. Having said that, they always wanted to make a dent in free agency instead. In 2018, they signed LeBron James to a contract. The year later, they traded all their rookie contract players for Anthony Davis. Oh, not to mention a plethora of NBA draft picks, which the New Orleans Pelicans are only going to use to build through the draft. Again, in the bio. Remember, the Lakers are Hollywood. They're going for the big swing here. They want stars. They're not looking to sign players who are ultimately going to just be fringe all-stars. They want MVP caliber players. That's their whole brand. Now for the Lakers, that means swinging on a lot of different guys. And again, when you look at their track record, they've succeeded. They've signed away Will Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, some of the greatest names in NBA history. And it's worked. They've won a multitude of championships. They have secured themselves a position as one of the most winning franchises in NBA history. And obviously, their entire perception is of brilliance and excellence. Now, whether or not that's true, that's an entirely different story. But it just goes to show how much free agency can affect the future of an entire NBA franchise. Now, coming up in our final installment of this series, NBA trades, so look out for that.